The one thing that I'm having a hard time with is they're again showing this concept of a drug that enhances
Yeah.
people.
There's a lot of things. Listen, I love the show, but there are a lot of things that happen on the show that are very cliche.
I'm tired of being able to predict so many things that happen in TV shows. Like, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen, and then it happens, and you're like...
If Dick was not in the room for this and actually stuck to his word and kept his promise and didn't go interfere, Jericho would still be alive.
When I first saw him when he was younger on the table and they were pumping him full, I was like, really? And then they fast forwarded like a few years and you start to see him, because Deathstroke has always been an older character.
Hello, all of you wonderful people out there in podcast land. Welcome to another episode of Black and White Reviews. My name is Will.
My name is Chuck.
And as it was on Ahsoka, there is no Lee this time around. He is camping in a really old, overpriced trailer. So, this week we're going to be discussing...
Underpriced.
I said
yeah, overpriced is the right word.
Overpriced is the right word. Overpriced is the right word. Wow, still, yeah, that's a thing. This week we're going to be discussing Season 2, Episode 7 of Titans, titled Jericho. So, the first thing that I want to do, and Lee, when you listen to this back, you can come at me all you want to. Last week, he gave us kind of a spoiler and said, well, yeah, Dick kind of feels guilty about Jericho's death, but he didn't kill him. I'm sorry. I disagree with this completely. He promised Jericho that he was not going to follow him to this meeting that Jericho was going to have with his father, Deathstroke, and he did it anyway. If Dick was not in the room for this and actually stuck to his word and kept his promise and didn't go interfere, Jericho would still be alive. So yes, I still lay a good chunk of Jericho's death at the feet of Dick Grayson. This is his fault.
Yep.
This is 100% on him. Did he do it? No, he didn't do it, but it's still his fault. And Dick has every reason in the world to feel guilty about it.
I agree.
All right. That was easy.
Well, that's it, folks. Have a great night.
I know, right? Right? No, aside...
Overall, though, what were your thoughts of the TV show?
I loved this episode. I thought this episode was fantastic. I'm liking all of the flashbacks that we're getting, especially this one that, you know, oh my God, Jericho at one point in time was able to talk, and then his dad got up to no good, and the goons came knocking for him, and it got his throat slit and everything else. I thought the whole thing from beginning to end was fantastic. The one... And maybe this is just me. The one complaint that I have is the opening sequence. I love the whole dream sequence that Jericho is having. I love that he's like walking on the street and there's all this anarchy and chaos and lawlessness going on. There's some guys wearing pigs masks and they are roasting a foot. I think that's a really cool thing to flip on its head. Like normally we roast pigs, but these men are now standing around with pig masks on, roasting a foot. It's also a nice little call.
Whoa. It was an entire leg.
Okay. It was a whole leg.
From the thigh
it was a whole leg.
And
I meant to say leg. I apologize because it's also kind of maybe this is just me because I'm kind of twisted like this. It's also a nice little callback to a little Tarantino movie called Death Proof. So in the beginning of that movie, you have what is his name? Oh my God, what is his name? What is it? Kurt Russell. You have Kurt Russell, who's like the killer of the movie, and he kills people by way of getting into vehicle accidents. And he rams into this car head on, and all you see is a woman's leg flying through the air. And it looked exactly like the leg that was on display here on the roast. And I just thought that was funny. I was like, all right, that's cool. There's more than one thing going on here. Yeah.
So for me, that scene actually gave me a call back to there's a movie called Gain and Pain with The Rock and
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
I've seen bits and pieces. Outside, I know what you're. Yeah.
There's a part where they're outside their apartment in the middle of the city, and there's a barbecue, and they have 4 or 5 hands and they're grilling hands on this barbecue. Like, what?
No, I thought the whole opening dream sequence was really cool. And then he woke up, and this is where I had a problem because I'm a record guy. Not only am I a vinyl guy, I'm a massive David Bowie fan. And I immediately noped out because the song that's playing is 5 years by David Bowie off of the album Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Here's the problem with this. It's the first track on the album. So I want to know how he fell asleep. And the first track is still playing. And the needle the tone arm isn't even in the right place for that song to be playing on that album. It was so backwards. There was no attention to detail with this whatsoever, but that could be just me. I'll forgive it because it's a minute detail and it really doesn't matter in the overall scheme of the show. But all in all, I like this episode. I thought this episode was fantastic. I like that we're introducing this kid and he can warg. If anybody's familiar with like high fantasy, like you get a lot of characters. I think it's happened a few times in Lord of the Rings, in the books. It's happened in Game of Thrones or the A Song of Ice and Fire series, where you have certain characters who are able to like put their mental space inside of something else. Some can do it with people, most can do it with animals, but it's a common concept in high fantasy. And I like that we're seeing that here with this kid, which makes me doubt his death. Okay, so this kid can like go into somebody else and puppet them, and then he dies, and I'm supposed to believe that he's not puppeting something else out there to like stay alive? Come on.
Right.
It's just, I don't know.
The only thing with this one is he has to be looking at them for it to happen. He has to have eye contact. That's the only. That's the only. But I see your point, though. It potentially.
The door's open.
It's a superhero. The door is definitely open.
The door's
open.
Agree. Okay.
100%. Deathstroke is back, so the door is definitely open.
So. Go ahead.
So I'm with you. I absolutely love this TV show. I love this episode. The one thing that I'm having a hard time with is they're again showing this concept of a drug that enhances people.
They're going back to this. Yeah.
Are they going to go anywhere with this?
I really hope so. I really hope so.
Lee is saying by the end of season 2 they don't. I'm hoping that by the end of season 3, I know there's only 4 seasons out there, they have to at least do something with it.
It has to come back around.
You have the nuclear family. You have the whole asylum where they're jacking people up.
Yeah.
You have Deathstroke. You have the whole thing where they focused on Hank doing it. You know, it's all over the place. They got to go somewhere with it. If they don't, it's a ball dropped.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I would even go so far as to say that with the nuclear family, the asylum, with Deathstroke, I think this storyline should be like a central theme of the show. Oh, and let's not forget about Connor. You know, Superman Light, whatever you want to call him. They pumped him up with, Kryptonian blood and Lexus blood, so they're dealing with and I'm sure some other kind of compound or serum went into this as well. I think it should be a common theme in the show, and the fact that they kind of dropped the ball. I should have known something was up in the first season or in the second season when you see Hank doing something, you don't exactly know what it is, and then that kind of comes back around in the second season and, it was just drugs. I still have a really hard time swallowing that it was just drugs, but I guess it was. It doesn't make sense for it to be drugs, especially because you have this whole thing going on. I don't know. I agree with you. Something needs to give with that entire element. Something has to happen. I agree 100%.
No, that's the thing is the fighting in this episode. What I liked is up until the very end, there was just them. There was no superheroes. It was just the issue of the group together. I love when Wintergreen goes to Jericho and he's like, the Titans. They got it handed to them by Zeus. Why would you name yourself after a bunch of...
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so true. It is very true. Like,
yes. Yes.
Why would you do this? Like, you're naming your group after this group of Titans that get destroyed by Zeus in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And a good movie that shows that, I've told you about this movie before, the movie Immortals.
Yeah.
With Henry Cavill. Super cool movie. Shows the Titans in it. They get thrashed on by Zeus, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
I know the stories, and it's true. Yeah, it's true.
I I just find it funny.
So do I.
That line was pretty funny.
So do I. Something else that I like right now, this Deathstroke character is growing on me, man. Like this, I'm in love with this character right now. Especially like at the end, I think they're in a church, and they're getting ready to have like their showdown, and Deathstroke is just dropping truth bombs all over the place. Like there was nothing in this like spiel of his that he said to Dick that was a lie. Like, we're both monsters, we're just doing it from opposite ends. What makes you any different from me? And blah, blah. The whole thing. And even when they're having their fight, and Deathstroke is schooling this kid, and he's like, this is why you failed, or this is anger's never going to get you. Blah. He, in so many words, tries to give this kid a training lesson. Like, this is why you're doing so bad. Don't get frustrated. It was fantastic. Everything that Deathstroke did in this episode was amazing, especially with Dick. Even at the beginning of their fight, where he's like, I can hear your heartbeat, I see through your lies, you're manipulating people, you're using a son's love for his father to get to me, what kind of a man are you? The whole thing was brilliant. Because again, there wasn't much that he said in this that I disagreed with. There was a lot of truth being laid out by Deathstroke in this scenario. I love that, and that's what I want. Not all. Every now and again, you can have the mustache twirling villain, but for the most part, this is what I want a villain to be. Like, just be honest about who you are and come out, and you can tell other people the truth, and they're really not going to be able to do much about it. It's fantastic. It is fantastic.
I love it.
And again, I'll go back to it. I don't know what show Lee was watching where he said that, oh, well, Dick really didn't do much and he shouldn't feel guilty. He absolutely should feel guilty. He should feel guilty. And Deathstroke, whether you agree with it or not, deserves some type of revenge. Something. Like, I don't know. There's a lot going on with Dick right now that I'm like, not looking too good, buddy. Yeah.
Right. Okay. No, I totally agree.
All right.
I think that I 100% agree with the whole notion that Deathstroke was saying everything truth about Dick Grayson. The fight between Deathstroke and Donna, like, not even a fight.
It wasn't a fight.
He handed it. He hands it to them throughout this entire episode. He's a monster. This guy is insane.
One-handed beatdown. Oh well, one-sided beatdown all over Donna. She can do nothing. It's amazing.
And against Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
But again, Donna uses her lasso of truth a few times to deflect a few things, but then that's gone, and he's like, he cuts her in the gut a few times and in the back, and then he shoves this like 12-inch blade down her shoulder. How is she breathing? That would have gone into one of her lungs.
Probably.
She should be dead.
She should be very dead.
She should be dead.
Yeah, I kind of agree with this. But she's a hero, and she's, she's
a main.
She's a main character.
She's obviously alive.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can't do that. So they got to figure out a way to kind of get around that one. Even the beginning where you have like Deathstroke in the facility, and they're pumping him full of all this drugs. And this is where I agree with you that they really need to go somewhere with this drug or serum storyline that they're clearly laying out. The whole thing was fantastic. Even when he like gets up and he kills all these guys while he's eating an apple. Like, it's nothing to him.
I loved it. I loved it. Oh my gosh.
It was amazing.
I absolutely loved it.
It was fantastic. He got the apple in his mouth while he's shooting bad guys or shooting just people. And like when he's done, he just like takes a bite and holds it in his hand. He's looking around. He's like, everything about this is amazing. I love this character. It's awesome. It's so cool.
When I first saw him when he was younger on the table and they were pumping him full, I was like, really? And then they fast forwarded like a few years and you start to see him, because Deathstroke has always been an older character. He's always been like, he's always had that like salt and pepper hair. Mm-hmm. But then when he came to it, even when he's sitting on the bench with his ex-wife and she's like, I want my son back and you need to leave. Like, you just see this guy. This guy is the perfect role for Deathstroke.
Yeah.
The perfect role.
Yeah.
And even as an older Deathstroke, even, in modern day, where they are now, present day, he's perfect. He's perfect for it.
Absolutely.
I wish that there, like, to your point, there are a few things where attention to detail could be better. I wish that more superhero stuff paid attention to detail the way that this show does for the most part.
So do I.
Because this show is doing a fantastic job with so much stuff.
It still blows my mind that this didn't come across my radar when it first came out, because this is something that I would have been all over. I can't understand why I never heard about this or why nobody talked about it until recently. But I'm loving everything. The plot kind of thickens with Donna and her boss, handler, whoever she is, where she was the intended target for Deathstroke, and you see the video footage of Aqualad jumping in the way of the bullet. I don't understand why he jumped in the way of the bullet. It's not like he was aiming at Donna. It's not like he was aiming at him. He was aiming at this woman.
Jump in the way?
It showed the video footage. The video footage.
Was he just turning around, or was he jumping in the way?
He turned because he aqua senses and hurts, I guess. And I'm making that part up. But I'm guessing aqua senses, turn around, oh my god, and literally sidestepped in the way so the bullet would hit him and not, old lady, Themyscira, handler, whoever she is. Like, he took the bullet for her. It was pretty implied that he took the bullet for her. I don't understand why. He doesn't know this person. He has no idea who she is. This is a nobody to him. It's wild that he did. I don't know. It's a whole thing. And even still, it begs the question, like, okay, Deathstroke was aiming for... Yeah, what did she do? Yes. What did she do?
Don't know. Because when she goes to find them, and they're all on the floor, like, bloodied and dead, like, there's like 10 of them before she fights Deathstroke. You're just like, why?
I don't know.
Deathstroke going after?
Well, in that scene, Deathstroke was just trying to send a message to stay away from his son. And I understand that. But I'm talking about, like, when they're at the plane, getting ready to take off, and they're aiming for what?
He kills her.
No, he doesn't, because she's alive.
No, that's what I'm saying, is before Donna fights him, she goes up to her place to see her boss, and she's on the floor dead with her cell phone next to her.
Oh, I must have missed this part. I watched the episode twice, and I didn't catch that either time. Really? The lady that's on the floor dead is the lady that he was shooting at the first time. Okay. Wow. Okay.
It's her handler.
Okay.
They're all dead.
Okay. I'm with you.
That's why she got mad, and that's why she got mad, wanted to fight with him. So I want to know what she did.
What did she do? What did she do? Or what did she do? Or it's not even so much about Deathstroke. It's more about her, because, like, somebody hired Deathstroke to take this woman out, right? So again, has nothing to do with Deathstroke at all. What did she do?
This just came to mind. Here's my theory.
Okay.
Wakanda.
Marvel? No.
Yes. So Wakanda is to Marvel as
Themyscira. Yes.
It's to DC. The Amazonian women.
Okay.
Are to DC.
Yeah.
So they're on Earth, but they're in a hidden location every single time.
Yeah.
But in both scenarios.
Okay.
Wakanda does all these secret things, and they make all of these crazy weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll help in certain cases, like with serums and stuff like that, to make super soldiers and to do all of these things. So I wonder if these people were actually the people who created the serum that created Deathstroke, and now he's pissed, for lack of better words, and is going after the people. So basically Wolverine against...
I get it. And I like it. Because I had a different thought. I was like, okay, so Lex lost his Superman. The next best thing is Wonder Woman. This woman knows about Themyscira. Go get her. Like that kind of like that's where my mind went.
Yeah, but this is all pre that though.
I understand that. But you still even if it is all pre whatever, you still have like because of because of the last 2 episodes where you have the scientist lady and you have Connor, you have the whole thing about Lex. Lex
present day though.
I understand that, but you have like the past of Lex like out there doing experiments and wiggity boogity. Like you have that.
Right.
Like they were talking about that. Like so Lex has been at this for a while and I'm just thinking like did Lex go after both Superman and Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
That just I don't know. That was my thought. That was because I secretly want this entire Serum storyline to somehow tie to Lex. Because you've kind of teased it a little bit, so now it's like it's on my brain. It's in my brain.
Right.
Like you have him, and he has facilities, and there are scientists who are doing no good, and now there's this clone version of Superman hybrid with Lex, and just this entire thing, and now it just so happens that like the one woman that like everybody kind of knows right now has ties to Themyscira, or maybe even access to, Wonder Woman. It's just, I don't know. That's me personally. But I like your idea. I don't
know though. It would for me it would be the only reason why Deathstroke would want to even go after them.
I wonder.
You ruined my life.
Yeah, that's another way. Life. That's another way to do it. I like that idea better, to be honest. You ruined my life. I'm coming after all of you now. I like that idea a lot better. Yeah.
Watch both of us be wrong.
Probably. And they'll do something completely different. Yeah. Either way. I
would be fine with.
I would
be fine with something completely different. I would be fine with something different than, like, I'm, to a degree, I get to the point where I go, I'm tired of being able to predict so many things that happen in TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen, and then it happens, and you're like...
Yeah.
Like, for example, when I first... back when Phantom Menace first came out, what was it,
99? 99.
I went to the theaters with my mom to go watch it. And I sat down, and they introduce all of the characters, right? And they bring in Darth Maul. And I sat there and I go, okay, Mom, so here's what's going to happen. Qui-Gon's going to fight Darth Maul. Darth Maul's going to kill Qui-Gon. Obi-Wan's going to come in, fight Darth Maul, and then kill Darth Maul. And she had already seen the movie. And she's like, how did you know that? I'm like, it's so
obvious.
It's obvious.
It's really, yeah.
And to your point, we've talked about this weeks ago, months ago even, where if we want to get away from the campiness and the obvious, we kind of have to start dipping into, like, indie films.
Yeah.
I like that because they're giving you storylines where you're like, you don't know what's going to actually happen. Like, I watched this movie called Multiverse on Hulu, and the end I was not expecting. I was like,
that's a good thing.
I was like, I like that.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good thing. I don't want to be. I don't know. I don't want to be right about Titans either. I just feel like it's so. There's a lot of things. Listen, I love the show, but there are a lot of things that happen on the show that are very cliche. And the only
100%.
There are things that happen on the show that are incredibly cliche. Like, for example, when we saw Jason falling out of that window, none of us thought that he was actually going to die. Like, we all thought, oh, something's going to happen. He's going to live. He's going to be just fine, whatever. I don't think any of us were expecting literal Superman clone to come out of nowhere and rescue the day. So, right. I don't know. And the whole reason why I go to Lex is because how heavy-handed they were with Lex during when they were telling Connor's storyline. Like, I don't know. This whole thing, maybe it's just me, but this whole thing with the serum has got me through a loop because now I'm trying to find like bits and pieces from the show and try to piece it together because the show hasn't done a really good job of like tying all that together or like introducing that in a really good way. It's my one big complaint about the show is the whole serum storyline, and now I'm actively looking for it in places where maybe it isn't even there anymore. I don't know.
I have two complaints with the show. My only two complaints about the show entirety so far is the serum and how easily they bested Trigon.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I love the
Yeah.
entirety of the series so far. And I'm with
Yeah.
you. I don't know how we missed this.
I'm going to tell you right now. If they do with Deathstroke what they did with Trigon and just make it an easy 1-2 nothing, or here's like the big thing, like my big worry is Dick will become Nightwing, and Nightwing will easily defeat Deathstroke. All like that's the tropey thing that I can kind of see coming. If that happens, we're taking a break. We're doing something else. We're going to wait a good while before we start season 3. I'll be done for a little while because it'll kind of be a smack in the face.
Right.
It'll be such a smack in the face if that happens. But that's kind of like what they're kind of moving towards. Like he becomes Nightwing and then it's him and Deathstroke and they'll have their second showdown and Dick will get the best of him. Like that's kind of like...
If Dick beats him, I'm fine with that. It's if he beats him as easily as they took out Trigon, that's where it will, because you're expecting them to beat Deathstroke.
Yes.
Like that's obvious. Like he's gonna lose. It's just
Not even
how fast he will.
How fast
he will lose.
Yes.
That will be the problem.
Yes. Because right now, the way the show is going, I'm expecting to be a one-on-one Nightwing Deathstroke, and Nightwing comes out on top. But like you said, it's just a matter of how fast it is. If it's simple, quick, and easy like Trigon, there's going to be problems.
Nope.
There's going to be a whole lot of ranting and raving by the end of that thing. I'll be really upset. But I don't think that they're going to do that. I actually think they'll do a good job at wrapping this whole thing up. And yeah, the show is fantastic. The show is absolutely fantastic. I cannot say that enough. But yeah. Another quick one.
Well, without three of us here, there's not a whole lot. We're just like over this entire episode, right?
It's whatever. We're just riffing on it at this point.
Like Googling over this whole thing.
Which is fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. It's fine. It is what it is. If we like it, we like it. If we don't, we don't. It is, at the end of the day, it kind of is what it is.
And I wish that they would do more like this. I wish that they would do more like this.
It makes me really anxious for whatever Penguin is going to be. It makes me really excited for something like that. I cannot wait to see what they do with that and who they're going to introduce and what roads they're going to go down with that character. It makes me...
It's not going to be an action show.
It should be a mob show. That's what it should be.
It's going to be a gangster mob show. Yeah.
It should be a gangster mob show. Yes. Did you ever watch Boardwalk Empire with Steve Buscemi? It was a gangster straight out of the 20s and 30s, trying to, gangster like their way. Kind of, but they were trying to like gangster their way around prohibition and things like that. And you get involved with like a lot of unions and they introduce, Al Capone and that whole thing. Like it was a really well done gangster show. To me, Boardwalk Empire is a standard when it comes to gangster shows. Depending on whatever they do with this and what, because my expectations are pretty high right now with that. I can't.
Oh, with how they did the Batman, they better do a fantastic job with this show.
Absolutely. No, but yeah.
My only fear with that is if they start doing with Batman and the Joker and this new startup of DC, whatever they're doing, not with Gunn, but just what they're doing with the Batman and with Joker. If they start doing TV shows, they're gonna intertwine like what MCU is doing, what Star Wars is doing. It's gonna be really hard.
It's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna be a lot. It's going to be a lot. But right now, like what they have with just the Batman, and now it's been a few years since that movie, a year, maybe more.
Right.
I don't know. Since that movie came out, and now they're like getting ready to release Joker. If they do it like staggered out like that, I'm fine with it. If it's just like one after another and it's constant bombardment like Disney's doing right now, that would be a lot.
Too much.
Because right now
too much.
Disney's laying a lot out there. So especially and Star Wars is laying a lot out there.
A lot out there.
Yeah, but that's it. I love the show.
I'm with you.
This was a good episode.
Yeah, me too.
All right. We done?
All right, guys. Until
done.
next time.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, Lee from Black and White Reviews here. Just wanted to take a moment to thank you for tuning in, checking out our conversation. If you like this discussion and you want to hear more about this specific subject or other things, check us out on our podcasting sites, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, or Google Podcasts. We're up on pretty much all of them. So yeah, thanks again for popping by, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.